I didn't feel that I would be good at saying my speech, so I recorded it. Then got some coughing problems and then motions. I think it might be safer. So hopefully this is all going to be loud enough. Um, and afterwards, you can still stay in business some more. We have good Keller, Tom's father. So it's all great to see all of you, and many of you have seen me in 2 years. So it's really great to see everybody. So let's get this started. We have to start it over a little bit to try and get the volume up.
We are here to remember Brent Sauerhagen and give his ashes a final resting place. Brent didn't have strong feelings about the where and how of it, as he believed he could beat the cancer, or at least gain more time. Once, he told Tracy to put his ashes in the Smokey the Bear cookie jar on top of the refrigerator, but she wasn't too keen about that. We decided being in this beautiful, peaceful place where people could come to pay their respects was preferable to spreading his ashes somewhere. You may not have known this, but he did want his body donated for scientific study, and that was done through an Army medical program. His corneas were also donated and went to 2 ladies in Ireland. Brent was such a wonderful person, kind and loving, very funny, a great father and husband. He fought his cancer with courage, optimism, determination, and most of all, humor. His Facebook posts were a reflection of his battle, and he connected with so many people during those 2 years. What a fun dad, making tents and camping out in the basement, Brent and Tracy making a cardboard castle, and lots of trips to the zoo. Coaching t-ball and cheering Hayden in flag football and Ash in soccer. Allowing Ashlyn to have 2 guinea pigs and Hayden the crazy sugar glider. Watching lots of movies with them. He shared his love of Star Wars, superheroes, and Lord of the Rings. He and Hayden loved to wear their Bronco jerseys to watch the Broncos play. And Tracy in her Steelers. I know the kids missed the backyard sprinkler parties, Brent flying the kids through the air before tossing them down the slip and slide. Oh, and the squirt gun fights. Kids screaming, trying to catch him. We all miss him at the kids' birthday parties. Brent was always in the middle of it with the presents and doing the cake. He wasn't afraid to make fun of himself. Just ask his college friends about his crazy Halloween costumes. Sponge Boy and superhero Irish firewater. In junior high, he dressed as a very busty woman and wearing the Superman onesie from Tracy and the kids. I searched my saved emails from Brent and was reminded just how funny he could be. When he was living in Missouri right after college, hating his job at a bed store, he wrote about a $1 a day campaign to raise money for the Brent Likes to Sit on the Couch Fund, so he could quit that job. Many of you here today got these emails, but to his disappointment, funding was quite low and he had to keep selling beds. In 2006, he played 4-on-4 flag football with Drew Botcherby and Jason Polton and would send long emails to everyone analyzing the games. He wrote that he was like a car, a 93 Honda Civic. In his prime, he was no sports car, but fairly speedy and handled pretty darn well, and had a big spoiler and cool rims. Now in 2006, he said he was still a 93 Civic with all the upgrades, but the spoiler was falling off and the paint had rust spots. The big problem, though, was that the transmission was starting to have real problems, as he found out when running after one of the players and falling farther and farther behind. His 5th gear just didn't work anymore. He blew a tire by the end of the game and added several new dents to the fenders. The rest of the team weren't in much better condition at the end, and they were all complaining that Brent thinks he's a car, but in their opinion, more like a Volkswagen Bug than a cool 93 Civic. I miss having him sit in my office telling me about the tattoo he just did or describing the interesting clients. He once did a tattoo on a young lady's breastbone, her wearing pasties, Mom there holding her hand. I missed that whenever I would go to his house, he'd say, "Hey, do you want to see what I'm sketching?" It breaks my heart that we'll never see what heights he would take his art, nor ever again see the joy he got from tattooing. I miss his calls and Facebook posts about the crazy stuff Ashlyn and Hayden did. Such as the morning he jumped out of bed having heard suspicious giggling, to find them swinging from the dining room chandelier. Or the things he was proud of, their grades and going to their kindergarten graduations and school programs. Ashlyn and Hayden say everyone else thinks this story is funny, but they still aren't seeing the humor. But they did give me permission to tell it. They played a trick on Daddy that involved taking apart Hayden's bed and piling it and his million stuffed animals against the door. Daddy was not amused. They had to earn back their beds. Ashlyn came in one day and announced to me in a cheery voice that today she earned back her pillow. It might make the kids feel better about getting in trouble to know that Daddy had a few of his own incidents. When he first got his driver's license, Rick and I were gone for a weekend, and we told him he could drive the new car. Well, he didn't set the brake when it was in the sloping driveway, and it rolled over the embankment and into the septic field, where he found it beyond his skills to drive it out, and no one would be the wiser. He had to call Ken Powell to come rescue him. Or the time Brent and a couple of friends set the septic field on fire with 4th of July fireworks and tried to put it out with spray bottles and bowls of water, and Rick was watching from the office window and laughing at them the whole time. Guess they figured if they turned the water hose on, they were busted. Brent was great about writing thank you notes, even though he got exactly what he asked for because he always gave out a very detailed list of clothes and books. I miss him showing me his new shoes. Boy, did he love shoes. And graphic t-shirts. I loved buying superheroes and Star Wars for him. Off his list, of course. He would join anything to spend time with family, even painting scarves with Tom's sister Norma. He loved the holiday rituals, and we all miss him at Christmas tree decorating and trick-or-treating with Tracy, the kids, Erica, and Reed. He and Tracy loved to give Tom crazy gifts to tease him about his gun collection and toilet paper stinginess. I really miss our movie dates. He had one never-to-be-violated rule: no talking during the movie. I could whisper to him all I wanted during the previews, but I better shut up when the movie started. I miss calling him after our fishing trips, even though he stopped wanting to see the pictures, saying, "Mom, you and Tom wear the same clothes every year and the fish all look alike." Quinn remembers vividly Brent's reluctance to do it, then having had a great time, told all his friends at the wedding rehearsal dinner that he had his first manicure, and that Dawn and Quinn made it a lot of fun. Brent's grandmother Pauline remembers when he was in grade school being given a pair of cowboy boots, along with the other grandkids. He told her to please not give him any more because then Grandpa expected him to work with the cows, which is ironic as he loved the brandings at Grandpa Sam's and the poker games afterwards. Our cousin Connie Stout sent this to be read, and it is a fitting ending. Dear Rooster, I have been thinking so much about what to say to you. From a so cute little guy in boots known as Rooster, to a full-grown man with such a gentle heart, what a beautiful, talented person you were. Such a great dad who taught your sweet kids how to love and enjoy the world and people around them. You took what life handed you with grace and dignity, and that is all that any of us can do. So rest in peace and know that you were so loved by so many.
Erica has been great. She can record one.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I know that we all miss Brent so very much. Thank you all for being here to spend time with us today remembering him. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about him. I'm sure you're probably the same way. So many times whenever something happens, I think, I need to call Brent and tell him. It's definitely in my top things I miss about Brent. I didn't exactly know how to go about writing this. I wasn't sure I even could. And I'm definitely not sure I can make it through reading this to you all. But I decided to make a list of things that I miss, and I'll start with that one. I so miss talking to him on the phone, spending way more time than either of us should talking about everything. Funny stories on the kids, his newest tattoo design he was creating for someone, the books we were reading, frustrations and celebrations. Most conversations started with, "I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to tell you," and ended an hour later with one of us saying, "Crap, I gotta go." I miss him showing me his latest drawings and his sketchbooks. He was always so happy talking about his art, never self-deprecating, just filled with passion and excitement and pride. I miss his laugh. I could never help but laugh with him. It was infectious, especially when he really got going. We'd often get to the "I can't breathe and I might pass out" belly laughing point. The more he'd laugh, the more I would. I miss going over and just hanging out on the couch to watch a show or a movie. A lot of the time we ended up missing most of it because we'd get talking about something. I miss sharing our love of Star Wars. When episode 7 came out, I put off seeing it because I knew it would be hard. It wasn't fair that he didn't get to see it, him being the bigger fan of the two of us. And when I saw Rogue One, I cried through pretty much the whole thing. I wore this Star Wars shirt today just for him. I miss his knuckle popping, I miss his "What's up" greeting, and his completely tone-deaf singing. I miss how he called Ashton short stuff and how he'd get Hayden giggling until he looked like he was going to puke. I miss hearing him call Reed Reader Rabbit and getting to call him Unky Monkey. The fact that he'd still decorate the Christmas cookies with us, a tradition I remember since we were little in the kitchen on Park Vista. I miss seeing his newest shoes or super awesome t-shirt. But most of all, I miss his support of every idea, project, or direction I had. He occasionally teased me, but he was 100% behind me every time. It's been especially hard not being able to share all that's been going on with me this year. Every project that I do, I wish I could show him. I always valued his feedback. He was never mean, but he was certainly candid in his critique, and he was always right, damn him. He did it because he wanted me to grow as an artist, never to put me down. He is the reason I'm going to be a graphic designer. He made me promise I wouldn't quit. It may have taken me a couple of years to get back to it, but I remember sitting in my first class back typography, thinking about him and hoping he was proud. He is my inspiration, and I will always be in awe of his talent. I watched him grow in his art, from his Garfield drawings on lined notebook paper to his beautiful, incredible tattoo designs that were always done thoughtfully and meaningfully. I think it is so wonderful that so many of us have his artwork living on us. It's a pretty good metaphor for the impact he had on so many people. He has left a beautiful legacy in the many people he touched with his friendship, love, humor, and kindness. Life will never be the same without him. There will always be a Brent-shaped hole in every gathering and in my heart, but I will forever be grateful that I got to call him my brother.
Very nice. Anybody else has something to share? You're welcome to do that. Or not. I know how hard it is. Yeah, it's good too.
This is an excerpt from In Western Lands by J.R.R. Tolkien. Excuse me. Though here at journey's end I lie, in darkness buried deep, beyond all towers strong and high, beyond all mountains steep, above all shadows rides the sun, and stars forever dwell. I will not say the day is done, nor bid the stars farewell.
Again, I thank everybody for coming. People run away, stay and visit, have cookies. No, not the cookies. Please have cookies.
I'll say a few words.
Ma'am.
Sure. Some stuff that you said the last time, Erica, some of the things that stick out to me most about Brent would be passion and dedication. Those are the three words that come to my mind most about Brent, and it goes all the way back to his football days at high school. You guys may not know this, but Brent wasn't the largest physical body. Yet he played football with such a passion, loved it, gave it 100%. His art, he loved it, he was passionate about it, he gave it 100%. When he came to college, you know, when he did something, he was 100% passionate about it. When it came to all of his friends and his family, he was absolutely loyal and dedicated to us. And I'm sure everybody feels this way here, but Brent would have done anything for any of us. And that's just something that's great. And then later in life, he gets married, has kids. Once again, he's passionate about it, and he's 100% all in it. And then his artwork, or the tattoo, finding a new way to express himself, and just absolutely loved it and gave it 100%. And so I just so proud of him and love what he did in life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now cookies? Anybody's welcome to do what you want to do. And it's hard to do. Please help yourself. Take a last look. Oh, I was going to say, the pictures that are there were scanned from his sketchbook. Erica had to whiten them up because when you do that, you get a lot of black and you don't want to do it. I'm doing it from the sketchbook. I'm not taking them out of the sketchbook. And there are a number of them on a Facebook page that she created 2 years ago called Brent Sauerhagen Life in Art. And so we'll add these. I'm going to keep scanning. So if anyone wants to order a picture for themselves, they can be ordered as a regular print. They can be mounted on backing to make them sturdier.
And she'll be in more charge this time, so we'll actually.
That's
nice. I really struggled at the
At
time.
first because everything she scanned was so emotional.
I had high hopes, but it was hard. So.
Yeah, it was hard, and she also has discovered that with all of her new training, she was working too hard at it. Now she knows how to do it better. So the ones I gave her, they came right back and really fast. I said, yeah, I know more what I should be doing. So we're happy to get you pictures and just give her an email or Facebook message or something and let her know.
And I'll tell her and she'll take care of it.
And I will, yes, if she'll pass it along, I will take care of it.
If I don't have
I meant to do Laura's little toy, and we will be printing for her this week. Yes, for that 2 years ago.
Oh, she did? She did.
I don't know. I don't. This is the first I heard.
She just wanted a print.
She wanted to print, yeah. She liked her poster. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Glad we got decent weather, and probably a little later we'll be packing that up. And Tracy walked up to that the other day and said, because it's been set up on the table so I could make sure everything fit on the table. Didn't order too much stuff. She said, is that all going to fit in there? So I got a 12 by 12 box in practice. And it does. It does fit. And there's also 2 albums of pictures here that everybody's welcome to look through before it goes into where we're going into. Before it rings again. When Tracy and you were calling me, you were kind of doing secret. I could not figure out what.
That way you heard like a bunch of
Yeah, it was all coming through.